At the start of the movie, we see a beautiful nurse named Gwen. She looks innocent, but inside she is a psycho nurse full of madness. When the other nurse reduces the pain of the patient, she feels relieved to see the pain increase. In the same way, she meets many happy families as a family nurse. In the beginning, everyone starts considering her as a part of their family. She shows false caring and gradually gets so close to that family that everyone starts considering her trustworthy. But then she goes back and forth in her life. Anyway, now we see Gwen in a hospital, where she is taking care of an elderly patient. That old woman was having trouble breathing, but Gwen reduces her oxygen instead of increasing it. And by doing this, she was getting a lot of happiness. Not only that, she keeps the oxygen tube pressed with her hands, which makes it very difficult for that old woman to breathe, and gradually her heartbeat also stops. After this, she herself goes out and shouts, "Doctor, come soon." Hearing the scream, the doctor comes in quickly. At that time, Gwen stands near the door and smiles slightly, which clearly shows that she is a psycho nurse who is relieved to see people in pain. But this time the doctor saves the patient's life. Gwen had no personal enmity with that old woman, but she was doing all this for her own pleasure. Now, before anyone takes any action, she leaves the hospital. After this, by changing the scene, we see a lovely family in a grand house, where Todd and his wife Mira live with their son Max. In the morning, Mira is making breakfast in the kitchen, because Todd is about to leave for office. Todd and Mira love each other very much, and both understand each other very well. That's when Max comes there with the help of his crutches, and says, "Mom, my feet are hurting." Max actually has muscular dystrophy, because of which he has no strength in his feet, and he walks with the help of a crutches. Mira is worried to hear this, so Todd explains that the doctor has said that there will be a little pain, so there is no need to worry. That's when we see Gwen coming there. Actually, Gwen was kept there for Max's care, and she takes care of Max there like a family member. Then everyone sits together for breakfast, during which Max's crutches falls. Gwen immediately helps him pick it up, but then she loosens the crutches grip so that Max falls later, because she likes to see someone in pain. Then before Todd goes to office, when Mira is fixing his suit, Gwen is jealous to see him, because Gwen had a strange desire for Todd in her heart. After Todd's departure, Mira's friend Karen comes to meet, and they talk to each other. While playing with Gwen Max, she is listening to them quietly. Karen says, "I think you guys are trusting Gwen more than necessary. You should keep some other nurse." Mira says no, Gwen takes very good care of Max, and she stays with us like a family member. But it is not even fulfilled that after hearing Max's scream, they go out where Max had fallen. Mira starts telling Gwen in anger, but Max says Gwen is not at fault, the kerchief was broken. So Mira calls Dr. Keller and asks for a new crutches. Then at night, Mira apologizes to Gwen that "I shouldn't have been angry with you. I just get worried about Max," Gwen says with a smile. "I understand how much a mother is in tension for her child." After this, Gwen makes herbal tea for Mira, which gives Mira rest. The next day, Mira goes to a support community, where like Max's illness, other people also come. There she talks about her son, how he fell down the stairs one day and then he had muscular dystrophy. Then when Mira returns home, Gwen again holds the herbal tea in her hand. Mira is a little surprised, but doesn't think much about it, and then she falls asleep. Meanwhile, Dr. Keller comes to meet Max with a new crutches, but Gwen says that Max is sleeping, so she can't meet him now. Dr. Keller doesn't ask much, but on the way she says, "I think I've seen you somewhere, but I can't remember. If I remember, I will definitely tell you, because Mira praises you a lot." Then that same night, Gwen quietly reaches Dr. Keller's house, and as soon as the door opens, as soon as she gets a chance, she gives an injection to Keller. And here the truth comes out that Gwen was the same nurse who tried to kill that old patient. And Dr. Keller had saved that patient by giving CPR. Now Gwen tells Keller, "I don't like families, so I destroy them." And this time it's Todd's family's turn. Now Dr. Keller doesn't want to tell this truth, so she kills him there and erases all the evidence, and comes back. After this, at night, Mira gets an online call from a man named David, who says that his son also has a disease like Max. His wife has died, and he has also hired a nurse for his son. Mira talks to him, but David's profile picture is blurred, so she can't recognize him properly. But the twist here is that David is none other than Gwen, who is talking in a different voice. The next day, Mira's friend Karen comes home, and accidentally drops a drink on Todd's shirt while talking. Gwen takes her to clean it, and in the meantime, Karen also goes to get her bag from a room. Then she sees Gwen smelling Todd's shirt in a strange way. But she doesn't say anything to anyone because she was afraid that there would be a fight in the family. After this, at night, Gwen again calls Mira as David. Both of them had a lot of identity, so Mira talks openly, and both of them talk about Max's falling. Then while talking, Gwen starts talking naughty while flirting with Mira in David's voice, which makes Mira uncomfortable. Then all of a sudden, Gwen cuts the call and goes straight to Mira, and asks her on the call, "Who is David?" Mira doesn't talk about this, so Gwen goes and tells Todd that Mira is talking to a man named David these days. Gwen actually wanted Todd to suspect her wife and break their relationship. But Todd says that Mira is worried these days and David might be her friend. She hugs Todd and says goodnight and leaves. The next morning, Mira sleeps late, so Gwen and Todd are in the kitchen, and Gwen sees the opportunity and tries to come close to Todd. Then Mira comes and sees that Gwen has already done everything by doing all the work. She finds Gwen's extra caring a little weird, but she doesn't doubt it. After a while, Karen calls Mira and thanks her for sending her birthday flowers. Mira is surprised that she didn't send flowers. When she asks Gwen, she tells her that she saw a mark in the calendar and sent flowers to Karen. Then while talking, Mira suddenly falls down, so Gwen picks her up carefully. Mira says maybe I should go to the doctor and get a blood test done. Gwen says there is no need for a doctor. I will take your blood sample and get it tested. After this, at night that is, Gwen calls Mira and starts talking. Just then, seeing Todd and Max returning home, she cuts the call immediately. Mira was about to take Max to his room, but suddenly she starts seeing everything blurred and she feels a lot of weakness. She says to Todd, "You take it, I'll be right back." But then, due to weakness, her eyes get stuck for a while. At the same time, a man named Weber messages her on the phone, in which it was written that David is a fraud. The next morning, Todd comes to wake her up, then her eyes go to Weber's message on Mira's phone and she wonders who this Weber is. But no one talks about it right now. Max was also surprised that why does mom sleep so late these days. Now we will soon find out why Mira feels so weak every day. Gwen stays at home for 24 hours and now she was handling everything more than before. Mira apologizes to Gwen that she is not able to do anything these days and feels very tired. Gwen says with a smile that it is my duty to do all this, and you just need to rest well and the blood report is absolutely normal. Meanwhile, Mira gets another message from Weber and Gwen also sees that message. But Mira writes in the reply that don't bother me by messaging me. After this, Mira goes to meet Karen and says that Gwen told me that my blood report is normal, and I just need to rest. But Karen says that maybe you should see some other doctor who has nothing to do with Gwen. Then Gwen becomes David and sends a mail to Mira in which it was written that Weber is trying to defame me, so ignore his words. But at the same time, Weber again messages Mira that maybe your son's life is in danger, so I have to meet you. Seeing this, Mira feels a little weird and after reaching home, she talks to Gwen about this, that she is going to meet Weber in a cafe tomorrow. At the same time, Todd hears all this, which makes him doubt that Mira is cheating on him. The next day, Mira goes to the cafe and meets Weber. Weber says that my real name is David Weber, but people know me by Weber's name. I don't have a son and I never talk to you. Someone is using my name and I recently found out. Then he says that my wife Laurel had cancer. One day, a man emailed him and asked him to stop the doctor's treatment. Laurel followed his words and in the same mistake, Laurel died. Then he shows the photo of the man, which surprises Mira that he is the same man with whom she was talking for so many days. But we know that he was not a man but Gwen. But Mira was still not doubting Gwen. Meanwhile, Todd was following Mira, and when they hug each other while leaving the cafe, Todd sees them and confirms that Mira is cheating on him. But we know what the truth is. On the other hand, Karen comes to Mira's house to give her bag and meets Gwen, but her motive was something else. She directly says to Gwen that I saw you sniffing Todd's shirt. I know you love Todd and are planning a lot to get him. But remember, if you try to harm Mira's family, then I will not leave you. Saying this, as soon as she leaves, Gwen attacks her from behind and makes her unconscious. Then she takes her to a deserted place and injects drugs in her body and leaves her there. After this, we see the night scene where Mira was preparing dinner. That's when Gwen takes Max and returns from physical therapy. And when Mira is talking to her son, Gwen quietly takes Mira's knife. Then she tells Mira that she will return by tomorrow because she has to spend some time with a special person. After this, as soon as it is morning, she goes straight to David's house, where we find out that Gwen was David's wife's nurse before, and she had cheated Laurel and stopped the treatment. After telling David everything, she attacks him with a knife with which David is killed. Then she drops Mira's blood sample on David's body so that the police think that Mira is the real killer. After this, at night, Todd returns home drunk because he was under the impression that Mira was cheating him. At that time, Mira was sleeping, so Gwen takes advantage of this opportunity and takes her to the room and tries to get close to her. Todd was drunk, but he was still loyal to Mira. In the meantime, Gwen suddenly comes close to him and starts kissing him. But Todd refuses to do so and asks her to go to his room. Gwen gets a little angry, but in front of Todd, she goes to the room. The next morning, Mira wakes up and the first thing she sees is her herbal tea bottle in which Gwen had left a message that she had taken little guy, that is, Max, to school. She gets a little suspicious and checks David's message in which he often said little guy and talked about his son. She had already known that the messenger was not the real David. But Gwen, if she uses the word little guy, then was she talking as the same David? Thinking this, she gets a shock and immediately throws herbal tea from her bottle, which contains something like white powder. This means that for so many days, Gwen was giving him a drug to put him to sleep. Then she goes to Gwen's room where there was a list of poisonous medicines in a book, and under the bed there was also a bottle of those same medicines. As soon as Gwen returns home, Mira immediately comes out and talks in a completely normal way as if she doesn't know anything. But Gwen gets a little suspicious and she again brings the same herbal tea. Mira pretends to drink it in front of her, and then takes Gwen Max to the therapist like every day. After this, Mira again goes to Gwen's room and records the video of those medicines and tells all the truth about Gwen. Then she calls Todd and starts talking about Gwen, and then suddenly Gwen returns home again. Mira asks her about Max, but with her expression Gwen understands that Mira has known the truth about him. Then Mira immediately wanted to take the car key and leave, but she stops her and says let's go to Max. Mira is afraid that she might do something to Max, so she quietly sits in the car at his behest. On the way, Gwen clearly says that she feels good to see people in pain because of which she has ruined a lot of families. But your family gave me such a closeness that I started loving Todd. But to get him I will have to take your place. There Todd arrives home where Mira had left her phone. He watches Mira's recorded video and gets worried knowing the truth about Gwen. Here Gwen takes Mira to her old house where Mira gets worried and starts looking for Max, that she might have locked Max up. But Gwen starts talking like a psycho that Max is still with the therapist, and you don't worry, I won't let anything happen to my son. I love Todd and I just want to quietly disappear you and take your place. I have taken such good care of your family, and now I should get his reward. Hearing all this, Mira gets scared and tries to run away. But Gwen stops her and tries to kill her, and a fight starts. Gwen strangles her and tries to kill her. Then Mira picks up a pot and hits it on her head, which makes her fall unconscious. After this, Mira comes home, and then we reach the last scene of the story where Todd and Mira live their old and happy life with their son, but Gwen is not shown again. All we know is that her game is over, and in the murder case she spends her entire life in jail. And with this, the movie ends here. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.